Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a Happy Meal card featuring the Sunshine Friends from my favorite things. This stamp set is so adorable. It is illustrated by Stacy Yakula, as you know, and today I am going to create a really clean and simple card. So I chose these two images and then a few glossy elements for this card. Really simple, limited amount of images. You can also just feature one. I would take the bear because it's quite large, but I really love this duck, and I just find it really funny how he's walking and just having the bear on the left towards the area that the duck is looking. I just thought that was just lovely, simple, but really sweet and adorable. That's what it's all about for me. So I stamped these images out on Transotype perfect coloring paper. I am always using Gina K Design's Amalgam ink. I know there are many inks out there and they are probably all amazing, but I just stick to whatever works. So I haven't tried out a lot of inks yet. What I do love about these inks is that they work for Copics and for watercoloring. When I started with this hobby, I remember that I first of all bought the wrong ink because I had no clue about which ink was going with what kind of medium, like watercoloring or Copics or anything like that. So I had the wrong ink, and then after a while I had an ink that was good for Copics only and an ink that was good for watercoloring. Now I cannot tell you how many times I had this issue, but it was a lot that I just took the wrong ink. I stamped out everything on the paper perfect for the Copics, for example, but then I stamped it out with the watercolor ink, and so that would never work. Not even with the watercolor, because it was on the wrong paper for watercoloring. So I had that issue quite a lot of times, and then all of a sudden I could get my hands on this Gina K Designs Amalgam ink, and I knew that it was for both. And I was happy the first time that I used it, and I never parted. But I know that a lot of people are, for example, really happy with the extreme black ink for my favorite things, and I can imagine it's great, but I have no experience with that. So if you have that and you're really happy with it, then definitely stick to it, because if it works for you, then that's just all you need. So I'm using Gina K Designs Amalgam ink, and another ink, well, this is the Obsidian, the black one. Another ink that I really like using is dark chocolate, because that gives you some sort of a dark brown stamped image, and that can make it sort of softer. So if you are creating a really sweet card or really fluffy critters or anything like that, it's always wonderful to use that ink as well, because it will give you that soft look. Okay, so onto the duck. Using some yellows, really bright, also using the same yellow markers for the inside piece of the flower. And that's just how I'm working my way through these images. I also have, as always, the Copic combos listed on my blog post. That's easy for you for reference, so definitely check that out if you are curious later on, or you just want some inspiration. You can scroll through my blog. You have all kind of pictures of the latest cards there, and when you tap on one of them because you like, for example, the coloring, then you can see the combinations in that blog post specifically. So that might be helpful. Here on the flower, I decided to go with a pink color, some sort of pinkish purplish color. It's a combo also that I really like. It's a bit hard sometimes to get the blend between the darkest and the mid-tone marker, but if ever you have difficulties with that, there is always a tip-to-tip method where you can put your the marker with the lighter color, you rub it over the other marker with the darker color, like I'm going to do here, and you sort of take a bit of that alcohol ink on top of the tip, and then you have a mid-tone to go on top of your image with. It's something that really helps me as well from time to time, definitely when I am using quite a large gap between my markers to get my combos. So I'm just finishing here the yellow, just adding a bit more shadowing there. And then I will zoom out, I will take the matching dies, cut all of them out and start on the background. Now for this card I die cut an A2 sized panel. I use the basic rectangles from my elephant. It's a really old one that I have. It has those stitching details on the edges that I really love. But any basic rectangle kind of die will work, and if you're great with your paper trimmer or anything like that, you can always trim your panel to size, of course. Next, I took the square Extraordinaire stencil from My Favorite Things, and as you can see, I sort of ink blended cracked Pistachio distress ink, but I didn't go all the way because I just sometimes like the illusion. You can definitely see this form is a square, but leaving the bottom open sort of gives the illusion of the grounding for me. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that dark to be a bit lower, still fitting in the scenery, but if I would have blended right until the bottom of that stencil, then the duckling would have been just outside, and that I didn't want, so I just kept the illusion a bit airy on the bottom half of the square. Aside from this gorgeous stamp set, I also took the Cloudy with a Chance of Rain dies, and I just took 3 of those clouds to help me with my scenery. As I said, it's a clean and simple card. You can also leave them off the card. That would definitely work, but I bought these dies. I think it's adorable. I love the different shapes of the clouds. And the lovely thing as well is that you have different shapes but also different sizes, and depending on where you add something on or on how big your scenery is on your card, it can really be so handy to have several sizes to work with. So happy with the layout, starting to add everything. I'm mixing and matching straight on top of my panel with some liquid glue as well as some thin foam squares. I love thin foam squares. These are from Scrapbook Adhesives. They're really handy. I love the height of it. It's just a bit of dimension but not too much. And then of course the backings are really simple to peel off. So that's why I love using them. And once I have added thin foam squares all over the back of my image, I am going to add it as well. So really simple, as you can see again, not a lot of images. And if you love clean and simple, then I have quite a bunch of ideas here on this YouTube channel, as you know. Although, aside from loving clean and simple, I can really appreciate a scenery card. I'm always amazed by everyone on Instagram and other social media with their ideas. And from time to time, I really like creating a scene card as well. I do it less than in the beginning. In the beginning, I was all about the scenery, but then once you get a hang of clean and simple, well, I think actually once you get a hang of it, you're convinced about it and you will stick to it. Definitely, but it takes a bit of time. I know some of you are like me in the past, a bit scared of all of the white area, but it's sometimes simplicity is all you need. And it also, for me, helps with the images to let them shine. Of course, if you have a great scenery, it's a lot of fun, and each time you rewatch a video from someone or you watch a card, you check it out, you see each time different things, and that's the fun thing about scenery for me. But here I have a clean and simple that is completely finished. You can add glossy accents, embellishments, glitter if you want to. I kept it just like this, clean and simple. I hope that you like it. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that I could inspire you in any way. Thank you so much. I wish you all an incredible day and I'll be back soon. Bye!